It was almost midnight when I started my drive home. The highway stretched endlessly before me, swallowed by the kind of darkness that makes you question whether the world beyond your headlights even exists. The radio had lost its signal an hour ago, and the only sounds were the hum of my tires and the occasional sigh of wind slipping through the cracks in my car door. The road was empty, too empty. I hadn't passed a single car for miles. No lights ahead, no glow behind. Just me, and the kind of silence that presses against your eardrums until it feels alive. Then I saw him. A figure stood on the shoulder, facing the road. At first, I thought it was a hitchhiker, maybe a trucker stranded in the wrong place at the wrong time. But as I got closer, something in me froze. He wasn't moving. Not even a twitch. Just standing there, perfectly still, like he'd been carved out of the night itself. My headlights washed over him, and that's when I realized he wasn't looking for a ride. He was looking directly at me. His face, what little I could see of it, was pale, wrong somehow, like he hadn't been under real light in years. My heart kicked hard against my ribs. I told myself not to slow down, not to look twice. I pressed harder on the gas. As I passed, I caught one last glimpse in the side mirror. His head turned to follow me. No movement in the rest of his body. Just that slow, unnatural turn of his neck. My chest tightened. I laughed nervously to myself, trying to shake it off. "You're just tired," I whispered. "Just tired." But a few miles later, when I glanced in the rearview mirror, I saw headlights. Two small points of light in the distance, growing brighter. I told myself it was just another driver heading home, but deep down, I already knew those lights were meant for me. The headlights behind me grew closer. At first, I told myself it was nothing, just another traveler cutting through the same lonely stretch of highway. But the longer they followed, the less that explanation made sense. Every time I sped up, so did they. Every curve, every dip in the road, they matched me perfectly. No overtaking. No slowing down. Just staying right behind me, close enough that their lights filled my mirrors and washed the inside of my car in harsh white. My pulse climbed. I turned off my high beams, trying to calm down. But those headlights, they didn't move. Didn't blink. They were too steady, too focused, like the driver behind me wasn't following the road at all. Like he was following me. For miles, we drove like that. Two vehicles slicing through an ocean of darkness, bound together by nothing but fear. I tried to shake him, slowing suddenly, speeding up again, even taking a sharp exit onto a narrow service road. For a few moments, the road behind me was empty. I exhaled in shaky relief, gripping the wheel until my hands ached. The silence came rushing back. The hum of the tires, the hiss of wind. Maybe I'd overreacted. Maybe it had just been a coincidence. Then, from the corner of my eye, far down that pitch-black road, two lights reappeared. No sound. No engine. Just those same, unblinking headlights, sliding slowly back into view. I could feel my throat tighten. I didn't even know where this road went anymore. It wasn't on my GPS. But something deep inside whispered that it didn't matter. There was no right turn, no quick escape. The lights were closer now. So close that I could almost feel their heat pressing against the back of my neck. That's when I realized, it didn't matter how fast I drove, or how far I ran. Whoever was behind me, wasn't driving anymore. The road ahead was empty, but the darkness felt alive. I could feel it breathing around me, thick, heavy, waiting. The headlights behind me swayed slightly, as if the car was moving closer, weaving side to side like a predator stalking its prey. My mouth had gone dry. I didn't dare blink for too long. Each time I did, the light in the mirror seemed a little nearer. Then suddenly, they vanished. The highway went dark again. No glow. No shadow. Just the endless black stretching beyond my headlights. I slowed down, heart thundering, eyes darting across the mirrors. Nothing. No car. No movement. Just the whisper of wind rushing past the glass. I should have felt relieved, but instead, a deep unease sank into my gut. Because something wasn't right. That was when I saw him. In the mirror, not the rear view, but the one on the side, a shape flickered. A man. Standing in the middle of the road where the lights had disappeared. My hands trembled on the wheel. He was too far to see clearly, but I knew it was the same figure from before. The one from the shoulder. He was facing me again. Still motionless. Still watching. I pressed my foot down hard, tires screeching, engine roaring, desperate to escape whatever this was. The car jolted forward, bouncing along the cracked asphalt. I didn't care where I was going anymore. I just needed distance. But even as the speedometer climbed, that feeling grew stronger, the sense that he wasn't behind me anymore. That he was somewhere else. And then, in the faint reflection of the windshield, I thought I saw a silhouette in my back seat. I told myself it was just a trick of the light, until the breathing started. It wasn't mine. The sound was faint at first, a slow, uneven inhale, like someone trying to breathe through water. I froze. My hands clenched around the steering wheel, every muscle in my body locked in place. The breathing grew louder. It wasn't the wind. It wasn't the hum of the engine. It was inside the car. I turned the radio knob, pretending not to notice, praying it was just my imagination. Static hissed through the speakers, but behind it, that same ragged breath. I swallowed hard and glanced into the rearview mirror. The back seat was pitch black, a void. My heart pounded so hard I could hear it in my ears. I reached for my phone, hands trembling, but before I could turn on the flashlight, I felt it. A movement. The faintest shift of weight against the seat behind me. I jerked the wheel by instinct, swerving hard toward the shoulder. Tires screeched. The car fishtailed, nearly tipping before slamming to a halt on the gravel. I sat there, gasping, engine idling, my body shaking uncontrollably. The mirror showed nothing. Just my own wide eyes staring back. But I could feel it. The air behind me was different now, heavy and cold, carrying the faint scent of damp soil. I twisted around slowly. Empty. No one there, and yet, when I turned back to face the windshield, there was a handprint on the inside of the glass. Fresh. Pressed deep enough that I could see the smear of moisture trailing down. I screamed, threw the car into drive, and sped forward, gravel flying like sparks beneath my tires. The night swallowed the road ahead, and the radio suddenly went dead. For a long moment, all I could hear was my own heartbeat, and a whisper, soft and cruel, from somewhere just behind my ear. You shouldn't have stopped. I didn't dare look back again. But as I drove, the reflection in the rearview mirror smiled, and it wasn't mine. I didn't remember much of the drive after that. The road had become an endless blur, headlights, fog, and darkness melting together like wet paint. My hands were numb from gripping the wheel. My breath came in short, broken gasps. Eventually, the highway opened into a small town. Streetlights. Gas stations. Civilization. For the first time that night, I felt something close to relief. I pulled into a convenience store parking lot, engine still running, just to breathe, to prove to myself that I was really safe. The store was empty. No clerk behind the counter. No customers. Just the faint hum of a flickering light above the register. I sat in my car for a while, staring at the reflection in the glass door, waiting for my pulse to slow down. That's when I saw it. Behind my reflection, something moved. A shadow, tall, narrow, distorted, standing just inside the store. Its outline was wrong, stretched too thin, the way figures look in old film reels when they flicker between frames. I blinked, and it was gone. I told myself to leave. To drive away and never come back. But I couldn't. My body wouldn't move. My eyes stayed locked on that door, even as the light inside began to buzz louder, flickering faster and faster. Then, the store lights went out. The world fell silent again. A moment later, the bulb above my car flickered, and in that split-second flash of light, I saw him standing right beside my window. The same pale face. The same stillness. Watching. I screamed and hit the gas, tires screeching as I tore out of the lot and back into the night. I didn't look in the mirror. I couldn't. Because deep down, I already knew, no matter where I went, no matter how far I drove, he'd always be there. So if you ever find yourself driving alone after midnight, and you see someone standing on the side of the road, don't stop. Not for anything.